One of the cars in this consist costs $25. Another one costs $116. Do you know which one is the cheaper one, costing $25? Well, let me tell you right now, it may be a surprise to you, because spending an extra $91 on a piece of rolling stock may not always be worth it. Hey there everybody, Matt here from Matt's Trains and Tractors. Today we're going to be figuring out if spending an extra $91 or more on a piece of rolling stock is really worth it when you can get one for as low as $25 or even $20. Let's get into it. So I myself and probably almost everyone in the model train community has thought about cheap cars and if it's worth it to buy them for great detail and quality and build stuff like that. So this video is hopefully going to answer your question on whether or not you should save $91 or spend an extra $91. So to answer the question that I proposed in the beginning of the video regarding the $25 car or the $116 car, the $25 car is this N&W stock car. Now from a glance, I would not have expected this car to be $20. I would have expected it to be at least somewhere in the 30s or even 40s. So saving almost 50% on a car, not bad, not bad. Now let me show you that $116 car. This is a $116 car. It is also a stock car, and I figured it would be a great comparison between the N&W stock car and this Armour Stock Express stock car. Some of you may recognize this car if you've seen my video on Lionel's 3-pack of Vision Line stock cars. This is the just generic car of that pack that does not make any sounds. The only thing that is Vision Line about it is the build quality, but since it's a stock car and it's the same gauge as the N&W stock car, I figured it would be a good comparison. Now let's take a look at the detail that both cars provide. I think it's safe to say that nobody wants to spend more money than they necessarily have to. And when it comes to rolling stock, there's a pretty wide range in which prices can be. Anywhere from as low as a $20 car, which you are seeing on screen right now, or all the way up to a $116 car, and even more that you are seeing on the right side of your screen right over there. I, for one, from a glance would not have expected this N&W stock car on the left to be only $25. Although it is almost all the way around plastic besides the die-cast metal sprung trucks, this car definitely has great detail and actually has more detail than those cars that are in the $40 range. Now of course, depending on which car you buy and which manufacturer you buy, you're going to get a different level of realism. This N&W stock car, which is right in front of you, is made by MTH Rail King. And once again, it is a great car that money can buy. The sliding door does open up, which is a great feature, and it also opens up on the other side as well. All the plastic is see-through plastic, so the areas where the car should be transparent is transparent. For example, on the sides where animals will normally be inside of, animals need air to breathe, so the car has definitely replicated that well by being able to see the slits in between the wood paneling on the sides of the cars. All of the text all around the car is very well legible, and there are no smudges of paint anywhere, whether that being the text or the normal paint. Everything, once again, is legible and does make sense and is realistic. The couplers do open up just like this. As you can see, that knuckle coupler has now been opened, and all of the trucks are die-cast metal. The catwalk on top of the car on this $116 stock car is actually separated from the roof of the car. So as you can see, in between the catwalk and the roof, you can see the back of the train room. These doors do open up. And hello, there's a little cow on the inside. Let me zoom in for you guys. Now one thing that I did not like about this stock car was that I had to take the car apart to put the cows inside. That is something that you do not and should not have to do on most cars. So yeah, Lionel, I'm going to have to zonk that. That is not a feature that I think a lot of people will have to deal with, especially if you just want to unbox it and put it right on the rails like I do. Similar to the $25 car, this car that's almost 5 times the price does have very legible text, and all of the paint is great. There are no smudges, and I love the contrast of the red and yellow and the maroon and yellow. They both look great. Let's talk about the ladders and the separately applied details on this car. These ladders are separately applied, like I said, so what that means is that they are not flush with the exterior body of the car. These ladders, basically, if you had a O-gauge person, they would be able to wrap their hands around the rail of the ladder, whereas on this car, the ladders are flush with the exterior, so there would be no space. It would almost be like climbing up vertical steps if you were a person in the O-gauge world. There's no place for you to wrap your hand around. Now that is an understandable feature, especially when you're paying almost 5 times less. You know, those kinds of details aren't really going to apply to that lower quality car, but it's from this camera angle and from just a glance, you can't really tell the difference. I mean, of course, this red stock car, it pops a lot more. I mean, the quality and those separately applied details, they just, it shines at you. Like, take a look at the foot plate right below the ladder, right? Like, you see that. It's on the other side of the car down here. But whereas beneath the ladders on the other stock car, there's no footplate, right? So those kind of things, those little details that are on the more expensive car, you're gonna see that pops out, right? So that's something that may take your mind a few moments to adjust, but when the train's going by on the railroad and you're coming down into the basement just to check out the trains, you're not really gonna see that. I assure you that a $25 car is definitely still viable, even if you want great detail. Taking a look at the front of the car here, as you can see, we have a brake wheel that does not turn. However, you do see a separately applied chain right beneath the brake wheel. That black chain is separately applied and is something that does not come with the brake wheel on the $25 car. However, there is a brake wheel, right? So you are getting these features. Like, for example, you're getting the ladder, it's just not separately applied. You're getting the brake wheel, it just doesn't have the chain on it, right? So you're still getting all of these great features in between the two cars. However, the price is different, and when you have such a higher price, of course there will be things that don't come with the cheaper car. And it's not like I expected both of the cars to be identical in quality and detail and all that stuff. However, I'm actually surprised by how similar the two cars are, and I'm very glad that I had another stock car in my collection for me to compare this $25 car to. Alrighty folks, we've got power on the track. We've got Santa Fe U-Boat number 354 connected to that same 5-car consist that we saw in the beginning of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video so far. I'm really trying to help out my fellow model railroader friends like you guys who are watching this video with making that purchase decision on whether or not spending an extra $91 just to get a few more details. Now, once again, they do pop, right? They are going to stand out, and probably after a few seconds of looking at it, which is more time than I gave you guys at the beginning of the video to judge whether one car was cheaper or one car was more expensive, you are going to be able to tell which one is the more expensive one. Alrighty everybody, time to answer that important question that we've been arguing with the whole video. Can $25 still buy good rolling stock? So once again, let's clarify what good rolling stock means. Well, that means a good build quality and great detail on the build, such as separately applied details, no smudges of the paint, very legible text, and something that looks real and something that you have or could see on the rails. I think everybody loves to save money, and if you're looking to save money on rolling stock, $25 can definitely do that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm trying to help you guys out with making that purchase decision. I'm Matt from Matt's Trains and Tractors. Make sure to stay safe and stay tuned. Let me know what you thought in the comments.